what's up, everybody? It's just me and Hispanic Jabberhammer. We are here to have a great show tonight.
Hey,
Yeah,
I already have to pick a bone with you.
yeah, oh,
Paul's got a molcajete at home. He's just as Mexican as I am now.
yeah, no shit, right? All right, we've got Ramon Outdoors on this week's episode. Paul, he's out. He's got some family stuff, super important to take care of. So it's me and Ramon. I bring Ramon on whenever I can. He was the first guest. I bring him on all the time, but Paul despises him. But before we get to that, remember you can support the show at patreon.com/Bass and Brews. That'll give you access to Last Call with Alex and Paul, the weekly live show just for Patreon members. Every month we chat with you. We like to call you guys the producers if you are a Patreon member. And we do a live chat with you guys, and then sometimes we give away Paul's shit. We've got a bunch of crankbaits. We had Tactical Fish Co. last week sponsor a month. Not last week, last month sponsor a month. But anyways, whole premise is if you want to help support the show, go for it. That's the way to do it. Other than that, real quick, Spotify Wraps are coming out. How do you say that? Wraps? Spotify Unwrapped?
I think it's wrapped.
Wrapped. Anyways, those are coming out. If for some reason our stupid fucking show is on your Wrapped, hit us up on socials. We'd love to see it. We've already gotten a couple. It's pretty cool. I feel real bad for some people that somehow we are in like a huge list of legends. So I think that's all the that's all the wrap up. We got Ramon Outdoors. If you guys don't know Ramon, he is a I'm not gonna say small creator, but he's a creator that focuses on small fish. He tries to catch big ones, he can't. So he pivoted his whole niche to catching the smallest fish possible. It was a smart move. He's got history on the show. Again, if you're new, he was our very first guest way back in episode 1, 3.5 years ago. 193 episodes ago, Ramon was on. So, what's up, bud? How are you?
193 episodes.
Yeah.
Really?
You're episode 194 right now.
Let's go. 194.
Dude, how crazy is that?
I mean, the fact that you and Paul haven't divorced yet is insane. And the funniest thing is, like, there are times where you guys are going at it where I'm like, this is it. Mommy and Daddy are fighting. Mommy and Daddy are fighting, and we're not going to have Bass and Brews anymore.
Nope. Bass and Brews is like herpes. It's with you for life. Ramon also has met Paul before I have. Mm-hmm. And if you guys didn't listen to last week's episode, I'm going to clue you back in on the exciting news, which is me and Paul, or Paul and I, since he's not here, have scheduled our first meetup, which will be in the middle of April in Holly Springs, North Carolina. We have everything basically locked up for a weekend of kayak fishing, campsite podcasts. I'm going to go sit in the crusher truck and crush trash with him. It's going to be like one of those Dirty Jobs episodes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You should do a pod from the crusher truck.
Oh, I fully plan to do a live podcast from the truck. Because you know how Paul always talks about how tough his job is? He always talks about, oh, I'm my own business owner, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to see what this man actually does in a day of work.
I have a question. Is he going to have a booster seat for you?
All right. Well, that was Bass and Brews. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Ramon's my same height. He keeps saying he's 6 foot. Paul met him and said Ramon is probably 5'2", 5'3".
No, you're lying, because Paul
That's what he said.
Agreed and said that I am 6 foot tall.
No. Yep. He said you were 6 meters.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
Sorry. I don't do the metric system. I'm American.
Total side note. I love that. I love that America, for the most part, has been like, listen, it's easier to use a metric system, but
it's not.
God, we will not. We will not use it.
We refuse. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. We've done it for this way. There's a reason why the colonies just said we're done with you. It's probably because of the metric system. No other reason.
You know what? Hot take right here on Bass and Brews had nothing to do with taxation without
Oh,
representation. It had nothing to do with tea in the water. It had everything to do
well,
about the
how did
metric
they weigh
system.
the tea?
Exactly. They were like, "Oh, you can have 4
Grams.
kilograms," and they were like, "No, fuck you. We're
We
taking
want
10
ounces.
pounds."
We want ounces. We want pounds. We don't want anything.
Exactly. I love it. Well, I think for most people, I mean, even Ramon's down in the great state of North Carolina, but most people are definitely feeling the cold weather move in
Yeah.
at this time of year. It kind of gets to that weird spot for outdoors people on what in the hell are we supposed to do during this time? Because I know some folks are hunting right now, and good on you for that. That's awesome. But if I remember right, most places in the next couple of weeks that dries up too.
Actually, no. For the most part, hunting really carries on into the winter up until January. January is when it kind of like dries up.
So
For
by the
most.
time this episode comes out, it'll be 2 weeks. I said 2 or 3 weeks. That'll be January.
Yeah, I mean,
Way to break the
hold
fourth
on,
wall, Ramon.
hold on. You didn't let me finish. Some places go into January, others go into February. It really depends on where you are in the country. New Jersey, for example, where you are, certain
Yes.
hunting seasons extend into February.
Well,
Yeah. So there's still opportunities to get out there. But honestly,
yeah, you
put
ruined
on
my
the coat.
premise, but yeah.
Put on
So
the
we're gonna
coat.
talk about what do outdoors people do when it's winter? When you're in some of those spots where it might not be accessible, or maybe it is, but you gotta like ultra layer up, have that gear for it. I know some places are lucky enough, I guess, to ice all the way over. So there's
Mhm.
that option. So that could be part of it, I guess. But we're going to talk about what are you supposed to do this winter?
Yeah.
This
I mean,
2024 2025 winter, you as Brewskis, what are you supposed to do?
well, the one thing is you go all the way back to episode 1 and listen to Bass and Brews.
Yep,
From 1
got.
all the way until basically the spawn happens. You should
Uh,
be able to cover them all by then. And the
Listen,
second,
if you put them all, hold on. If no, we're going to stay on one for a minute. If you start now, here's what you can do. Here's a fun thing. This will come out. I'm trying to do some quick math. All right.
don't hurt yourself.
You can do 14 days of Christmas with your family. So what you do is a lot of
Not a-
families, and in my family, we like to sit down and read a book for about a half an hour to an hour. No phones, no TVs, no screens. Me and the wife and the kids, we all sit down together and we all read our books, right?
Yeah.
So what you guys can do is instead of doing that, you just sit all your kids down, your grandma, your peepaw, you sit everybody down, and you start at episode 1, and you just go through the whole catalog of Bass and Brews.
And then you just see how the crazy just unfurls from there.
Those first 10 episodes were definitely more
First 10
tame.
episodes are pretty like your usual podcast, and then finding your groove is one way to put it, and it just kind of like, I wouldn't say went off the rails. I would say it's more like that episode. I mean, not that episode. It's more like the end of the first Back to the Future, where
Okay.
Doc goes, roads, where we're going, we don't need roads, because
That's
that
right.
is
We don't need it.
what happened.
Listen, that's your fault. That's your fault,
Not my
Ramon.
fault.
Ramon once told me, all right, Ramon once told me, I remember the show was getting traction. And I was like, this is cool, man. Like, I kind of feel like we might be something like, and I named a bunch of different podcasts. And Ramon said something about like not waiting. What did you say? Don't wait to go to the table. Bring your damn chair and make yourself a spot at the table. So it's your
Mhm.
fault because I was like, hey, if people like it when we make dick and fart jokes and talk about Bigfoot, like, yeah, we're gonna lean into that, and that was your fault. So all of this is actually your fault.
And that is why I get 3% of everything.
He gets 3% of the bills. He's
Yep.
our Mr. Moneybags.
Yep.
Our,
And not
our,
to mention all of my free IT services that I gave to Paul while you were deployed.
I'm sure that was a lot. Paul would forget, and I'd come home from a deployment and have like 45 texts, and it was like, "Yo, send me the code for StreamYard." And it'd be like, and it would be like a 2-month-old text message. Like, oh man, he must have struggled through that episode.
Eventually, he would either text or call me and be like, "Hey, how do I do this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let's
See,
put our two brain cells together and see if we can."
So that's good. So that's something you could do. All right. So I'm trying to channel early episodes. Let's keep this on. Hold on. Let me pull up my script. Never mind. I don't use a fucking script. Everybody knows that.
The other
Oh, my internet's going poopy. Oh, he froze up. Or did I freeze up?
is
I
that
think we have
mine?
some. Yeah, it was you that whole time. Oh, Mr. Fancy
It's
content
the
creator. Here, back out for real quick, and then come back in. Sorry, folks. We will figure this out. I know as an outdoorsman, I do struggle with what to do in the winter to keep myself occupied. You know, for most of us, we spend 9 months out of the year outside in some kind of capacity, and it sucks during these months. So we're gonna come up with ideas. One of these ideas might be how to get Ramon Outdoors some better internet because that is the best frozen screen ever.
All right, somebody.
It's like it works great if you don't talk.
That's beautiful. Hold on.
This is why Ramon doesn't do a podcast anymore. All right, let me get it together. So try to keep yourself busy during the winter. Can be a nightmare. Again, if you're in one of those spots where you're lucky enough to still go out and do these things that we all love to do, kudos to you. And some of us, and I'll be completely honest, I'm a baby. If it gets like as cold as it is, I woke up this morning and it was 14 degrees. There's no way I'm going fishing in 14 degrees. It's not going to happen. It's way too cold. It's going to be miserable. I've done it before.
Again.
Oh, we can kind of hear you, Ramon. Can you hear us? Nope.
Can you hear me? Oh my goodness.
Now I can. But it's like super. All right, Ramon, let's play a game. Let's call it I Back Out. You run the show, and let's see if that works.
Let's do that. All right. Can you hear me? I don't know if anybody can hear me, but the second thing you want to do is you go, which I don't know if he gave you a second thing. If he did, it's fine. It doesn't really matter because my second thing is more important. You go to youtube.com, you go and search for Ramon Outdoors, and you start at episode 1, and you just work your way all the way up.
This
You just
motherfucker.
keep going until you reach the most recent one.
This is a ploy. He faked technical difficulties to try to get me off the stream so he could plug his YouTube.
Listen, I could see you and hear you the whole time. I think it was your fault.
No, I think it was you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the live, and it was showing me perfectly well. I turned off my camera.
Yeah, and we couldn't hear you. Now
you're gonna have to edit this episode. No,
I'm not editing. I'm not editing anything. Nothing. We all know that.
Anyways, number 1, go watch go listen to Bass and Bruce. Number 2, go watch my YouTube videos.
I'll take that.
That'll kill you like what, a month?
Yeah.
Of time?
About a month, yeah.
You'll be in February, and then you can circle around again.
Perfect episode. Just go watch our shit, and that's it, folks. No, I think there's. I think it's a good time to take stock if you are a creator out there. Again, Ramon gave me some good advice last year, right? Like, kind of sit down and think about how the year went. This sounds kind of stupid, but like really think about. I mean, this is centric to the content creators, whether it's long form, short form, podcast, whatever it is, right? Sit down and kind of think about what you did, because it's really easy for us to get into our heads of like, shit, I didn't get the numbers I want. But like when you look at everything, you go, no, I had good numbers. I had good videos. I had good TikTok videos. I had good podcast episodes. Like, it's good to take stock in all that, because a lot of times we can all get wrapped up in, oh man, I'm not getting views right now. This sucks. Because right now, if you're on TikTok, good luck getting views. It's tough right now.
I get views all the time.
Well, it's because you're selling
40,
shit. Yeah, exactly.
50. Hey man, a view's a view.
I agree. But yeah, it's a good time to take stock. And I know last episode, me and Paul and I kind of did that where we talked about we did a year in review last week, a little early, but it's good to think about those things. I think it's a good time for that. And then not only think about that, but like, what can we do next year? And that can be more than content creation. That could be like, what do I want to do fishing related? What do I want to do
Yeah.
hunting related? What do I want to do next year?
I mean, I think the biggest thing you could do when you have all this time, if you're not going out, just like you said, think about what you want to do next year. Is there lures you haven't tried out yet? Are
Mm-hmm.
there, fishing reels and rods that you want to try out? I mean, there's Black Friday just passed. I know that much. I'm sure people picked up some stuff. Things are going to go on sale again here in a few weeks as we get closer to Christmas. People are going to get gift cards. People are going to get money. Santa's going to bring you a nice 6-pack from Cape May Brewing and a hat and probably a little, gift card in there. And, you'll be a happy little Bass and Brew. But that's usually what I've been doing. In fact, I had a package come in today. Like it had a few lures that I haven't actually hadn't thought about fishing until recently. And it's one of those things where it's like you just take stock and then you see how, especially more for the content creator and less for like your regular angler. And I say regular angler, I mean someone who doesn't concern themselves with like filming their content. If you're just going out and fishing and not recording anything, fish what you want. But if you're a content creator, if you post a video once a week, that's at least 52 videos. That is not a lot when it comes to like the content you want to film. So thinking about what you want to film and make content with is kind of important, especially because it's feast or famine. I mean, especially in like YouTube, for example, that's where I spend most of my time. The peak views that you're getting start in the spring and end right around the first kickoff of the NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
And I kid you not. If anybody is thinking about making YouTube videos, do not start around football season. You will immediately want to quit because that is when you are getting very little views. Go look at all your big channels, all your favorite channels, see the videos they're posting now and compare them to the ones they were posting in the summer. Completely like drastic difference in view count. That being said, like you got to plan around those. Because it's feast or famine. What am I going to film with? What am I going to fish? What am I going to get out there and do? So it's one of those things where like you take stock. I also hear some people do maintenance. I'm not familiar with this word when it comes to fishing and your reels.
Oh yeah.
But like people do maintenance with their reels.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you mean maintenance? Like, and they're like, putting you line. I'm like, why are you out? Is there no more line on your reel? So
I will say this is the first year I've ever taken reels to get them maintenance. The first
why?
time ever, and it's the saltwater reels. So I took,
Oh
even though
yeah.
they're like saltwater rated,
Uh-huh.
I still brought them in to get like a full cleaning. It was $10, and it takes a week. And they break the whole thing down. Yeah, because they break the whole reel down,
Mm.
clean everything up, re-grease everything, and put it all back together. So, and I wouldn't do that with like the spinning gear. I didn't. I have like two bait casting saltwater setups. So those I did. I brought them in. I haven't got them back yet, but it's the first time I've ever done it. I put in so much work in the salt. I figure it might be necessary. We'll see. Because one of them did feel a little crunchy. Like it was getting a little crunchy inside there. It felt like.
Okay. Did you try putting it in rice?
No, yeah, exactly. Well, I tried turning it off and turning it back on, and I was having
Yeah,
issues.
sometimes you gotta make sure it's plugged in.
The big thing is, especially with like spinning reels, all you got to do is like hose them down. The bait casters, they'll kind of suck that in there into the casing. And I'm also awful about rinsing down. So shout out to the 13 Fishing Concept. I think it's T. Whatever.
They have a lot of concepts out there.
A lot of it's the teal reel that is saltwater rated. I used two of them all summer and the first part of fall. And I was saltwater fishing twice a week, and I barely washed those things off. And one of them started getting a little crunchy, which probably isn't good, but the guy I brought it to said it's no problem. He'll clean it up, and it'll be fine. So we'll see. But
That's
that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do that, but
Mm-mm.
I probably should, but I don't, and I won't because none of my bait casters are worth much. They're all like very budget bait casters,
Right.
and I've gone like one of them. The oldest one I have is like 3 years old, and I've never popped it open and cleaned it out. So
Yeah, should be
it's
fun.
still trucking. It's still gonna be trucking, and I'm gonna ride that thing till the wheels fall off, and then I might upgrade. Who knows? But
Hey, you mentioned
there's something I want to talk to you about
Yes,
before we
yes.
move topics. You said you're doing a lot of saltwater fishing. Are you ready
Yes.
here and now to admit that you're saltwater fishing now because you can't catch bass?
No, I am saltwater fishing because I like the experience of one. All right, so there's a sense of ease because instead of like loading, no, I mean the whole thing. So instead of like putting the kayak onto my car, loading everything up, we got friends with people who have what's called a creek house. So it's just a house, it's a shack.
Mhm.
It's not even a house, it's a shack. They paid 10 grand for it, this tiny little, but it had a slip and a kayak launch. So
Mhm.
I literally just left my kayak and my gear there all summer. So I
Where's this
don't
at?
have to kick in New Jersey.
Yeah, but where specifically?
Oh, it's 123 your mom's house. It's right down the street.
Okay.
No,
okay.
yeah. So but that's also why I didn't film because they were a little sketchy on it. But I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I spent, or maybe last week, but we spent an entire day setting up GoPro mounts around a friend's of ours boat. So there is going to be some saltwater content for sure next season. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Got them more into being like, because they were like, oh, you're going to do dumb YouTube shit. I'm like, I'm not going to do dumb YouTube shit. Would you shut up? So,
It's okay.
um,
It's okay if
but-
you do.
yeah, if that's what you want to do. But they were like,
Listen.
you're not going to have, you're not going to be having dumb YouTube shit in our creek house and on our boat. So
Listen, here's what you need to do. As soon as those cameras turn on, you need to give it the most YouTuber "What's up YouTube"
what's up,
you've ever done
YouTube?
in your life.
Remember, if you
Yes.
like this kind of content, smash that like button. Don't forget to hit the bell.
Yeah. Yep.
No, so I did that, and it was fun because it was a new, like I'd only saltwater fished a little bit in the kayak, so it was like a new skill, which I got really into because it was just new for me, and it was like exploring all these flats. Got lost
Live
a couple
bait?
times. Live bait, yeah, a little bit of live bait. Yeah, I usually had two, so one with live bait, and then the other one with a
Or your
bucktail.
cigarette filters.
Well, that was in the sabiki rig. Yes, absolutely. I
Those
hate
are
that I
your
let out the
artificials.
juice. I hate that I let out the juice
I'm
on
sure
the
everybody
podcast.
who does that already does it. Like anybody who would be doing it is already doing it.
But and it was
That
also
makes
trying to
sense.
figure out. It does because it holds on to it right, and then also the filming. Like I really wanted to film that last one that we had because I had I had the crab pots positioned perfectly on the back, and I was like, dude, this would make a cool fucking video. But the way the crab pots sit, I have to like rework where I put the camera because they sit
Oh,
right over
front.
that hole. I know I don't have a front mount, so I got to put a front mount in. So
Yeah, that sounds.
and
like
the front mount's tough
you need
though
to
too.
fix. No,
I
it's
don't
not.
like the tough mount. Listen, I think it gets in the way. I'm sure you get used to it. I know you run a front mount, like the weird arms sticking out and all that, right?
Yeah, it looks
But when you're-
good, man.
Yeah, but when you're
It looks
catching
so
monster,
good.
when you're catching monster fish like me, like that's gonna get in the way.
It didn't for me when last time I went kayaking.
Yeah, but you're catching like a 2-ounce crappie.
That was a 3-pound bass. Don't sell me
I'm
short.
talking about I'm catching like 85-pound stripers.
Show me an 85-pound striper.
I've never caught, but I have caught an
Exactly.
85-pound stripper once. That was a whole different story, though.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm gonna have more of that. But
Everybody's spending
Yeah.
their winter how they want, I guess.
everybody's dangling their worm however they want to dangle it, Ramon. You can't judge them.
I mean, silent
So,
movie.
So Ramon mentioned getting new gear. So I do like this time of year, and I did it last year. I'm gonna do it again this year because I like it. I call it getting gift card rich. Like all of a sudden, because most people don't know what to get you. Just give you a $20 whatever dollar gift card from to Bass Pro or wherever, and you get a stack of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I started it last year, and I think I'm going to do it again this year, where I'm going to use that to buy something that I wouldn't normally buy myself. Like something where I'm like, I don't know if that's worth it, fishing related, but I kind of want it. Well, this is like free money. So it was last year I got the what did I get? Oh, the Egg Series Go Box.
Which one's the Go Box? Oh,
It's
the
I
Flex.
mean no. It's the Egg Series, but it's big. It's like deep, so it's not for baits. It's for
Oh, it's for the
you can put soft
leader and
plastics.
stuff. You
You
put
can put
leader in it.
leader in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have that bar across it. So it is almost like a flex where you get two dividers,
Yeah, yeah,
right? But you
yeah.
can
I
put
know which
whatever
one
you
you're talking
want in
about
it.
now.
So I had that thing rigged up to hold like the GoPros and the drone. And that's what that box
Mhm.
became to hold. I would never buy that for myself normally, but because it is a spendier box, I think it was like $70+
Woof.
right? But that thing is really badass. So
Yeah.
maybe you guys think about that. Buy yourself something that you normally wouldn't have. Like, oh, something that looks cool. Like, hey, maybe I want to do swim baiting, but that shit's expensive. Well, you got some gift cards. Go buy a swim bait.
It's still. I mean, for me, it's still not gonna make it easier when that swim bait just gets lost. I bought a swim bait, and in true
You
fashion, it
Alexed
is a
it.
tiny swim bait. No, no, no.
Yeah.
I haven't even opened the package. It's not expensive. Here's the thing. It's not even that expensive. It's $20. It's an
Right.
ultralight swim bait. It's handmade, limited runs. So,
Oh, I would never fish it.
but here's the thing. They're limited runs only because they remake them all the time. The
Oh,
only ones that they don't remake are like the limited colors of their limited
okay.
runs. But they're handmade. That's why they're limited runs. They release them like every. It's maxed. I think it's max lures. I'm sure you guys have seen them around. They're tiny little ultralight swim baits.
Mm-hmm.
It's $20 for one lure, and I cannot bring myself to open the package because I know I'm gonna want to fish it. And as soon as that sucker gets hung up somewhere, I'm
Mm-hmm.
either going in there and getting it out, or I'm just gonna be a sad guy on the side of the bank, or because like there's the only way I'm fishing that thing is if I'm in the kayak, because that'll give me a
Right.
better chance of getting it back.
Yeah.
So swim baits, man, swim baits hurt. Swim baits hurt. I
They
can't.
do.
I can't. I like the most expensive thing that I've thrown so far is it's a Megabass BFS lure,
Okay.
and it was like $12, and I think it was like $12. I got that sucker hung up so much, and each time I'm like, I'm not leaving here without this lure. And
You
it
gotta
took
get up in
me
it.
like there's a whole video on it. It took me so long. Like you can see it every time I'm like fighting to get this thing back. I'm like, it's coming home with me. It's coming home with me. I'm not losing it on the first try.
I got deep into swim baits this year, and by that I
Yeah.
mean bought way too many. I still haven't caught a bass on a swim bait. Plenty of pickerel,
Because you don't bass
and
fish, man.
but then I took it out to the salt water. I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool video, right? Like, let me
Yeah,
take
yeah.
some of these. I fucking lost like 4 of these things to bluefish. Just annihilated it and snapping the line, right? And I was like, at least it'll make a good video. And then I turn around and I realized it was a corrupted SD card and I got 0 footage.
Big
So
mistake.
all I did was throw like $120 down the drain.
Oh, that hurts me hearing you say that.
Dude, it was so bad.
You should have
Like,
spent some of that $120 on new SD cards, man.
no, dude, it was like everything was fine. I did all the pre-checks. Everything was good. You could see like my intro portions of me pedaling out there, me catching a undersized fluke. And then after that, I switched to the swim baits and it just didn't work. And I caught a good amount of blues, but like they were destroying these swim baits. It was so funny.
I think you still need new SD cards, man. If they're corrupt.
Probably,
How old
dude.
are those things? You know
Yeah,
what's
they are
funny is
pretty old.
I'm pushing it. I've been using the same few micro SD cards for like a couple years. I feel like any one of these trips, they're just gonna like corrupt on me because I mean, putting them in high heat in the
Yeah.
summertime. I run them because they're 256 gigs. I
Mhm.
run them nonstop. If they're on, they're on. Like I'm
See, that's a good
surprised I
point.
haven't hit that yet.
You guys could use some of these gift cards to get. You said maintenance too. If you guys are out there
Mhm.
making content, maybe maintenance is getting new SD cards. That's not
Mm-hmm.
something you'd normally think of, but if you're a little flush in gift card cash, that's probably a good idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One completely unrelated to fishing or anything gift card tip. Once you like your Visas and your MasterCards, those gift cards, once you've used them and you have like $1 something, 50 cents, 32 cents,
Give
$1,
them away to
25.
charity. Yep.
Oh, well, I mean, you can,
Oh,
but
wait. I
how
thought
are
that's
they
what
going
you
to
were going to
use
say.
that?
Well, you tell them it's for $50 and then they get $1.
No, that's terrible. You
Never mind.
go into your Amazon account and you use it to buy Amazon credit.
Oh, that's a good point.
I did that with a stack of like 10 gift cards that for some reason I'd been holding on to. It ended up being a total of like $10
Yeah.
worth of Amazon credit. And I'm like, hey, just like 30 minutes of work for $10. That's like a decent hourly, man.
Listen.
You're telling me $20 an hour isn't worth it?
No, not for me. I make way more than that. Anyways,
whoa,
no, I'm
Mr.
just
Big
joking.
Bucks over here.
I'm just joking.
And this is why he runs Bass and Brews, guys. See, don't let him lie to you. Make it sound like he needs your Patreon dollars. He doesn't even give you a full hour on Patreon.
I
Look,
knew it.
sign up for the Patreon.
Listen.
Go give him, what is it, $5 now?
It's $5.
Go give him your $5 and then just yell at him because he doesn't do the full hour. That's what I do every time.
Not only do you do that, you also, even though the link goes out on the Patreon, the Patreon member page, everybody gets a link if you're a Patreon member. This asshole, when he can make it to the live show, goes, send me the link now. I'm a producer. And he will pester me while me and Paul are prepping about how he wants the link. And I'll send him it's on Patreon. And then in all caps, it's just send me the link.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen.
Ramon acts like he's a real nice guy. This guy's a menace, everybody. He's just a menace in disguise.
Listen, I am nice. The menacing menace that I am is only for those who I know can handle it. I'm not going to do it to somebody who's soft. Are you soft, Alex?
I might be. It's 2 years now since I've been out of the military.
Let me know. Let me know, and I can ease up. I can back up. Like I said, I know you stopped bass fishing because it's just too hard to dump your kayak in the water.
Listen.
You literally just said.
No, it was a pain in the ass. Yeah, I do like the ease. I do like the ease of I just drop the kids off. I roll to this little house, pull the kayak out. All my shit's already in it. I put it down these rollers. I get in.
Kayak trailer, man.
I should do it. All right, so my issue with the kayak trailer is I don't have a place to store the trailer.
You don't have a driveway?
I do not. I have street parking, and then my backyard, my gate to the alley isn't big enough to pull the trailer through.
Gate.
Well, I'd have to get a new gate. Yes, I'd have to.
Yeah,
but I have it's not just just a new gate.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a
Come
thing.
on. These sound like soft words again.
Listen here, fucker.
I'm just hearing excuses. I'm not hearing any solutions here.
Listen. All right.
Listen, if Paul's not here to give you crap, I have to.
Paul was nice the last episode. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't believe it.
Oh, dude, wait till you listen to it. He was getting all sweetheart about my beard. We had a very lovey-dovey episode, except for I kept calling him fat the whole time.
Well, yeah. See, that's why you're mean to Paul, so I have to be mean to you.
I see how it works.
Is.
Listen, so, I found out 2 episodes ago, if you get Paul drunk enough, he looks like one of those bright leaf sausages that he keeps eating. He turned so red on that episode with Drunkwood from all the booze that he was consuming that he was so bright he looked like one of those wieners.
Okay. Interesting. I have something to talk to you about.
Sure.
For anyone who doesn't know, I don't even think Alex knows. There's a Bass and Brews podcast Discord that for some reason Paul and Alex made and just abandoned, and Alex drops in there every now and again. Alex was gone for so long, people thought he was dead.
They did. Yep.
They did. Well, I recently ran a poll there.
Fuck the poll
asking
results.
who is the mom and dad of the podcast. Now, I assumed, and I voted, Alex is the mom and Paul is the dad.
Oh,
I have reasons, and it has nothing to do with masculinity and femininity.
okay.
It has to do with the way the podcast operates. Paul is the dad because, in my opinion, I feel like a dad is usually the one who's like roughhousing with the kids, doing silly stuff, coming in and busting up chairs, and just roughhousing, which Paul likes to do. He loves to throw things off the rails. The mom is like, no, we got to do this, and then we got to do that, and then we got to go over here, and then we got to go over there, which you tend to do. The Brewskis and the Brewski Hangout did not agree. They felt that Alex is the dad and Paul is the mom. Now, again, I did not give that explanation in the poll. I feel like if I would have, it would have swung the other way.
I think so too.
But hey, I'm not in here trying to interfere with people's opinions. There was another poll that was much more interesting. Who is Ernie and who is Bert? Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street.
I didn't see the results of this one.
This was a unanimous. All people who voted, Alex is Bert, Paul is Ernie. And that is just the most fitting description that I have ever heard or seen. It's just one of those things where it's like, that is a much better poll than mine. Shout out to Evan from Evan Goes Fishing. He likes to BFS fish for clout. And
did you know that you and Evan look very similar? And sometimes I get you guys very confused sometimes.
You know what I think it is? I think it's the terrible beards.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I feel like Evan has a decent beard. He's got a better beard than I do.
He does.
And it's the sunglasses.
Yes.
So if I put on some sunglasses, which I'll do here shortly, I can see that I do look like him in a little bit. And he's also 6 feet, which I also am. So
it's two guys with bad beards and glasses that catch small fish. It's you guys are basically twins.
He's caught more bass than you have. And so
you guys right there it is, right there. You guys look exactly the same person.
Fishing BFS for clout. And it's fun. It's so much fun. You should go do it. If you're not doing it, you're missing out because BFS for clout is the best. And also all his fish are paid actors and or AI generated. So if you're not out there BFS fishing for clout, then you should be, because it's a lot more fun that way.
What are these snap-on lenses?
If you haven't done it yet, make sure you go check him out on TikTok so that you can go see all of his BFS.
How many of these fucking things?
Clout. That way, you can go and do that.
And listen, hey, if you guys want to be part of the Bass and Brews Discord, get in touch with Ramon. He's about ready to be a mod for it, so I'm gonna let him run it.
That mod roll is gonna cost you another 2%, buddy.
That's fine. You can pay another 2%. It's not work. It's for the love of the show. It's for the love of the show.
Listen, when the Serious Angler Podcast Network decides they want to buy you guys, I cannot wait for my 5% payout once I'm a mod.
I love when we have Bailey on sometimes, especially when I know he's going to come on, because then I run like a whole series of YouTube videos about how we're not serious anglers. And it's like not
in the slightest.
I love giving little chips at him because he's goofy as fuck. And I
feel really like funny. Anybody with serious in their podcast name has to be the most goofiest person out there.
The best is the last time he was on, and we confronted him, and if he knows what BBB means. That big Bailey booty. And then when we told him, he was just like, you could see him.
No, he said it. He said it. He didn't just like hear it.
Well, he was like, well, I think it might mean big Bailey booty. We're like, oh, yeah, it is.
Yep.
But, he left us hanging because we had Justin Largent on the show a year prior to him bringing him onto the network.
Yeah.
And I have sent numerous emails to Bailey. Like, hey, buy us out. We'll be the Howard Stern of the Serious Angler podcast. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I get back is return to sender. You've been blocked. So I don't know what's up with his email, but it's not working.
You actually can't do that with email addresses. That means he's handwriting that to you.
He's handwriting that block message.
Yeah. Like when you
that's even better.
Answering machine. the person you have called is not available right now. So he's handwriting it
All right.
instead.
And again, I want to talk to all those brewskis who said I was Bert. Look at this. I wasn't on an episode. Paul got on, and he had world-class anglers. He got very serious.
Hey, what's that feel like to have
Paul's
everyone
not
you
on,
wanted
and
to
I got
chat with-
Ramon.
Yeah. What's it feel like to like know that Paul has all these awesome guests in your back pocket, on his back pocket?
They're not in his back pocket. It's
He
Drunkwood.
waits.
No, it's Drunkwood likes to wait until he gets the call.
That's what I'm saying. But it's
not
exactly
Paul.
what I'm
It's
saying.
Drunkwood.
You don't look. Listen. Paul is many things. He's not dumb. He knows if he calls Drunkwood, he's gonna get a good episode.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Gonna get some good
That's a
people
good point. That's a good
on
point.
the show. So he's playing you, man. He's like, you
Well,
know what? Alex is in here. We're gonna get Drunkwood on, and Drunkwood's like, what? Alex is in here. Guess who we're gonna call?
Listen,
And
Paul
who are you
texted me
stuck with?
today. Paul goes, "Who do you have on today? Were you able to find somebody?" I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, dude. It's going to be crazy like yours." And he goes, "Yeah, who do you have?" And I'm like, "I'm going to give you two options. You pick which one's real." And I said, first option, Mike Iaconelli, KVD, and Jacoby Wheeler. Second option, Ramon. And he just put, "Have fun with Ramon."
Listen, I know my role is. I know what my role is at this point.
The extra glasses.
My role at this point
is snap on. All that
be
cold medicine has gone to your head.
Listen, I'm not on any cold medicine, man. I'm just chain smoking cough drops over here, drinking some fancy frou-frou soda.
Oh, the poopies.
Yeah, the poopies. If you drink too many, they'll give you the poopies.
They really will.
Because it's a fiber soda. Anyways, and sitting with R2D2 back here, keeping me warm because we don't have heat in this house right now. That's why this light is not blue. That's how cold it is in here.
Dude, you still don't get the heat fixed? This is totally off the rocker. Welcome to just a stream of conversation.
It's not me. If it was up to me, it'd be fixed by now.
Yeah.
You know, God willing, tomorrow. But for today, here we are. And the reason we are here is because Alex was like, I can't get anybody on the show.
I did not
Let's
say
get
that.
the guy who was willing to come on every month this year, but I decided, nah. Oh, let me call up Ramon. Ramon will do it. And yeah, I will do it because that's just the kind of guy I am. I will come on here last minute, sick, no heat, ready to be on a podcast. Yeah, we're not in my usual setup. That's because the garage is a mess. I've been cleaning stuff out. I've been trying to get rid of stuff. But here I am. I got the mic. I got the light. Got the webcam. And, you know, I'm just out here. Just
the light is giving me,
folks. Just
the light's giving me Bo Durham inside vibes.
People are, hey, you know what? That's fine. We could be inside. We can be indoors. We can be outdoors. It's winter time. It's cold out.
He's talking like Paul now. He's talking this. You can be outside, indoors. The only thing about the doors, if they're in, they're out. You know what I mean?
No, we want no doors.
No doors. No, I want doors on my. I want doors. You don't want doors?
Doors just keep you out of places.
Yeah, but they also keep.
They're gonna keep you away from that table that you want to seat at.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Deep thoughts of the.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you something, Alex. When you think of success, what do you see? Wrong. You don't see nothing.
Okay. So what does that mean?
It's up to you, man. Can you see the success?
I'm telling you, Ramon is one. I think in 2025 he's going to launch his Andrew Tate style media career, where he just gives awful open-ended advice with different sunglass shades on.
Listen, there is no awful advice. There is only awful execution.
I can't with you.
I don't know what happens to me every time I put these sunglasses on. It's just something crazy happens. I'm gonna take them off.
Yeah, put the Evan goes fishing needs to go away.
I got the spectacles.
There we go.
On.
Oh, now he looks more serious. Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect.
There we go. And if you're wondering, it's only 3 lenses. If anybody is watching, it's literally only 3 lenses.
Dude, Ramon's got that YouTube money. He's got 19,000 lenses.
Shout out to Hobie. Shout out to Hobie. Because they
those are all Hobies?
Yeah. Check these out.
Yeah.
This is frames. And they come with little snap-on lenses like this.
Yeah, we've been asking Hobie for those, and I keep getting an email that says your email's been blocked.
Again, those are handwritten.
That one's weird because on the bottom it's still signed by Bailey, so I'm pretty sure they just copy and pasted Bailey's.
I told him about you guys, and I said, I don't know about these. I'm just saying. You gotta think about your brand sometimes. So, I don't know. I'm just here so I don't get fined. That is why I'm here. I was requested, and like a good friend, I have arrived.
You showed up?
I showed up. Because if not, how am I going to get my 5%?
That's true. And, well, so here's what I actually think why you want to come on the show. Because I know we ran it a little bit ago, and I got to do these again, I think. But I know you were upset because you weren't winning the guest who's been on the most contests.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's another reason why you weren't having me on. You didn't want me to, who's currently in the lead?
All right, everybody think about it for a minute. All right, we're going to play. We're going to spend the last half an hour. I do know. So we're going to spend the last half an hour of this with a little Bass and Brews trivia. Ramon, being the first guest ever, is going to have to answer some of these. So he already answered one. Let's see if he remembers. Counting this episode, how many episodes have there been?
194.
There you go. All right. Who's been on? Give me the top 3 that have been on the most.
Paul.
Not
Coley.
Counting Paul. I'm talking about guests.
No, she's not.
But Coley, she's not top 3.
You know what, Coley?
She's not top 3.
If you're listening, Coley, Alex says you're not a guest.
No, she's a
you're
family
not
member.
welcome.
She's a co-host.
Is what he said.
All right, so what do you got? So she's not in top 3, I'll tell you that much.
I don't know. I don't watch that often.
I saw your Spotify Wrapped.
I'm gonna say Bailey's in the mix. He's top 5.
He is. We're only doing top 3, but he is number 3.
Okay, so top 3.
Yep.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say Rudd is number 1.
Negative.
Oh,
but Rudd is
number
2. Rudd is number 2.
Okay, well then where the heck am I?
You are number 4.
Oh gosh, who's number 1? Oh wait, no. Queen City kayak stuff doesn't count.
Nope, not Queen City.
Okay, so who's number 1?
Drunkwood with the latest episode is overtaken, and not only that, Drunkwood has been on the show more this year than any other guest as well.
Hold on, let's pause. Bailey has not been on more than I have. Has he?
Yes. Yeah. 5 times.
Right, I should. Then we're tied with this one.
This one will bring you to tie. Yes.
Yeah. So first off, not 4th. T-3. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Put some respect on it. And that is the reason why you wanted to keep me off the show. Let's be real here. The reason you wanted to keep me off the show is because you wanted to make sure that I did not be the number 1 guest. And to be honest, I find it a little weird because all the feedback I always hear from you and from everybody else is,
great.
Man, that's a great episode. You should have him on more. I don't know why he's not on every episode. So
I think it's your lack of commitment because maybe people don't know, Owen at one point for 3 episodes had a podcast of his own. So I don't know if he's going to continue or not because that podcast.
No, it's dead. I've said multiple times. I've said it to you. I can't believe you don't remember.
I do. I just wanted it mentioned again.
Mm-hmm. No, it has nothing to do with lack of commitment because if you've been subscribed to my YouTube channel, you will see that for the most part, every week there is an episode.
There is.
The weeks there are no episodes. I just almost choked on my cough drop. The weeks there are no episodes, I put a message on there, and it's usually like a holiday. So I'm not
Right.
gonna post on holiday. Like I didn't post on Thanksgiving. Why would I post on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving? Nobody's watching YouTube. If you're watching
I'm
YouTube,
with you, man.
stop. Watch football. Eat turkey. Spend time with your family.
Yep.
Anyways, listen to Bass and Bruce.
Oh, no. Hey, time out. Starting
You
next
literally
year,
just said to
we
listen
might
with
be
your
taking
family.
a break. We might be taking, I'm telling Paul, like holiday season. I know we talked about it last week. It's tough for me and Paul. It's tough for the guests. We might be moving to like some off weird hours. It might not be every week next year during the holidays. We might have throw some legacy episodes in, something here and there, or nothing because it's just tough. It's tough.
That sounds like
Listen,
soft topic.
us clowns can't be on the stage 52 weeks out of the year. Actually, we did for 3 years, but so sometimes the clown needs to take a break.
Who's lacking commitment now? I'm just gonna
Listen,
leave that
I'm
there.
higher up on the
Anyways,
list than you.
excuse me. I still make fishing videos.
That's true. That's true. I still make a fishing podcast.
Yeah, but what did you welch on?
What do you mean? Making fishing videos?
Fishing videos, yeah.
Yeah. That died.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
what
now
can you do? What
and
can you
now
do?
he doesn't bass fish.
Yeah, but I've got more fishing videos than you have podcast episodes.
Yeah, but I have more fishing videos than you have podcast episodes. Listen, we can keep
No,
going back and forth.
you're not
But the
at
end all
over.
be
You're at
all,
194.
yeah,
No way.
I think so.
Now, if it's 52 weeks in a year,
Yeah.
you've been doing this for 3 years,
Yeah.
almost 4 years, right?
Yeah.
I have more.
How? You started the podcast after I started.
No, it started before.
Yeah. How? No.
Oh,
Listen,
no, I definitely
this is
did.
boring
You're
the
right.
viewers.
You're right.
This is boring. This is boring the viewers. I can tell you
It
how
is.
many videos I have right now, and you're actually right. I have 183. The 183rd went up because I have been missing episodes. But let us not forget the fact that if it hadn't been for Paul, you would be probably at 110
Oh,
videos.
if it wasn't for Paul, the show wouldn't be here. It would have died when I was deployed.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
let's
It would
give
have
props
turned
to Paul.
into bourbons and baits.
Yeah, bourbons and baits, or just bourbons.
If anybody remembers that show.
Now, speaking of Paul, he's not
Yep.
here to defend himself, so I'm going to take full
He's not.
advantage.
Yes.
It is pronounced salmon.
Yes.
It is pronounced salmon because it is from a 13th century French word that did not have the L. Somewhere along the line, they decided to revert back to the Latin spelling that did have the L, but they did not pronounce it. Salmon is the correct way to say it. He is saying it incorrectly. That's why you say island and not island.
I'm gonna start calling it Island to see if he catches.
You can call it island all you want, but
I'm
it's
heading
incorrect.
to Jalapeno Island, and I'm gonna
You're
see if
heading
he realizes
to
it.
Cape May Island, which isn't an island.
Perfect. No, it's an
No.
yeah. Anyways,
But Long Beach Island is land.
that was awful.
And yet you're still chuckling. Thank you. I'll be here all night. So the other thing that I have been working on
Yes.
in not so secret has been posting less, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I used to have an aggressive posting schedule, not for videos, but for shorts. I was posting like 3 shorts a day at one point
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, which is a lot for YouTube. TikTokers, they'll post like 15 a day. That's TikTok
Yep.
because they're usually like walking around, pretend this is a phone going, hey, look at me. But shorts are different. And I was doing 3 a day, which is fine. But I scaled back around the same time that football season kicked off because the views were getting low. The effort was not the effort that I was putting into it was not matching the input, I guess. The input was not matching the output. So I started posting less. And that kind of lines up with how less you started posting on TikTok and how you
Sure.
stopped texting people back. So, really, what I'm saying here is how dare you? How could you? And why do you hate Paul and me?
Listen,
Paul and
so
I.
what Ramon is referring is I have a bad habit of ghosting. And it's not out
It's
of
a it's
any
it's a conscious choice.
I didn't say it I didn't say it wasn't. I
A
just like
habit
to
is something
unplug.
that happens habitually. It's not something that you consciously. A habit is like, oh,
No,
it's a
it's like
bad
I get
habit for
caught
me
up
to
in
leave
my
the door
day.
open. A
No, I get
conscious
caught up
choice
in
is
my
you look
day.
at your phone and you're like, yeah, no.
No, I look at my phone and I go, I'm busy. I'll get back to that.
Uh huh.
And then I look at my phone and it's like 5 days later, Ramon's like, hey man, everything good? And it's like, oh shit. Well, I can't say anything now because it's been so long.
I mean, you can. I don't care.
Well, but then I gotta wait. And then when you text
I
again,
just I just want to know if you're alive or dead or not, so I can come and pick up that kayak.
I'm always alive if it means that you don't get that kayak.
Yeah, but when you die, I get the kayak.
No,
That
it's
was
going
the
with
terms
me.
of our agreement.
Nope, I'm having a Viking burial on that thing. Someone's gonna shoot an arrow into it, light it on fire.
How are you gonna know you're dead?
Well, that's a trick. I won't be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you will.
Nope, you
Eventually,
have
you're
to
gonna
fake it. Nope, you have to
listen.
fake it first to see if the people
Listen.
around you are going to act
Eventually,
correct.
listen. Eventually, there's a bucket for you, and it's gonna get kicked,
Yeah.
and you're gonna kick
Well,
it.
it almost happened. You're right. Yeah, it almost happened, but you're right.
Exactly. Exactly.
No,
So
no.
that kayak was almost mine, and don't get
It,
me wrong, I already have two. I don't mind a third kayak.
listen, when I was on my
That
deathbed
kayak
2 weeks
table,
ago, when I was
that kayak
bedridden,
table can have another layer on top.
well, one, it can't be that high up. It's heavy, way compared to your little baby
Listen,
kayaks, right? Your peasant
first off,
boats.
first off, it doesn't matter how tall it is. I'm taller than you. Second, I'm also very strong.
You're not that strong. I've seen your arms. You've got little
Stronger than
baby
you.
arms. No,
How
not at
how
all.
when have you seen my arms?
In your videos.
You mean my forearms?
Yeah, dude, they're small.
First off, if you're lifting your kayak with your arms, that's why you have back problems.
No, you're
Second off,
lifting it with your
I'm all
forearms
lower
only.
strength. Yes, all forearms.
It's
I'm
all
lifting up
forearms.
my
Duh.
Old Town PDL 106 with straight forearms and pinkies. That's all I'm doing. Just
Yeah,
like
dude.
curling that sucker, just forearms,
Popeye, like
just like
Popeye.
this, like this.
Yeah, dude. That's how I do
Just
it.
like doing exactly. If ever
And
that's how.
I'm over
Listen, that's
40,
what
so it's getting
Ryan
a little
Lilly told
tiresome.
me. That's how you lift it.
Listen, Russ Snyder's told me that the
Mhm.
best way to lift it is to hire a lot lizard to do it. That was the key
Gosh.
to his success.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. But point is, when you kick said bucket,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kayak is ending up in my possession.
No, I don't think so. One, you're probably going to go before me. 100%. Yeah.
Who's the one drinking a beer right now, and who's the one drinking healthy soda?
That's the thing. If I make my in All right, so there's a really funny I was at like my 50-year mark in the military. You got to take like a big physical, like the
Yeah.
whole like they got to look at your butthole again, all this other stuff. And
That's not part of the physical anymore, man.
it
You
is.
just asked for that.
No, it is. You got to do the duck walk like before you got in, where you got to like squat and you do this weird duck walk, and then you got to bend over, and a doc's got to look at your butthole. But
Yeah.
part of that, they were like, "Do you smoke and do you drink?" I'm like, "Yes." And they go, "Well, do you know that's bad for you?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to argue." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "I see a lot of people get hurt exercising and doing sports. But if I keep drinking and smoking, I'm going to make my bad side so bad that nothing else can be down there. And I'm going to stay forever. It's like formaldehyde." And I live by that.
Do you know formaldehyde is poison, right?
Yeah, but it keeps the thing going. I'm like a zombie. It's just
It's
I'm
not
gonna
gonna keep
keep
you
going. Yeah, dude.
Listen,
Have you seen Weekend at Bernie's?
I've seen Weekend at Bernie's, but he's
Play
dead.
some Blink 182. I'm gonna pop right
He's
out of that chair.
he's
And
dead.
No, he's alive if you heard reggae.
No.
So the whole premise of the show was one thing.
Listen,
I
old
had a
man.
I had a whole I had a whole idea of like
no, you hold
what
on.
the title's gonna be.
Let me talk.
All right, Paul.
When the proverbial bucket comes in contact with your tiny little foot, that kayak will be mine.
Yeah. No.
I'm glad. No, you just said yeah. I'm glad you agree. Thank you.
Furthermore, because
Verbal
my
agreement,
kids,
contract.
because my youngest,
they're only
my
gonna
9-year-old,
see it and think about all the pain of missing their father and be like, I can't get it away from me. Get it out.
No,
of
my
sight.
9-year-old thinks that she's going to inherit the show with Paul's son Carter. She, in her head, thinks that it's going to be her and Carter doing Bass and Brews. So what's going to happen is I'm going to leave it in the will. I'm going to leave it in the will that you get the kayak, but really they're just going to give it out to Patreon members. That's how that's going to happen.
Oh,
it'll be win Ramon's shit.
Member.
Oh, you'd have a shot. You'd have a shot at it.
And 3-5%, like they got to buy me out.
Yeah.
And the price of buying me out,
$10.
Kayak disappear.
If this was Shark Tank, they would tell you that you overvalued this podcast by a lot.
Just in the wind, gone.
Listen, this is supposed to be about how to stay busy during the winter, and I had a whole idea. But now the title of this episode is going to be The Two Silliest Gooses. Is going to be the name of this episode.
Listen, I knew that was your plan, and I immediately told myself that's not
Pauled it. Yeah, you Pauled it. You absolutely TikTok ganged it, basically.
I don't know what that means, but if you came to this podcast to actually learn something, you're at the wrong podcast.
We drop a nugget.
I know normally I'm in here dropping knowledge.
Yeah, he's not today.
No, not today. I'm sick.
It's the holiday season.
Heat. There's no heat. Like the fact that I'm even up right now is incredible.
Yeah.
Your internet is going in and out. He's already.
His mic cut out, or mine did.
Your mic cut out. And if you say you're gonna do something for someone and you don't do it, like what are we doing here? Basically, what I'm saying is that if you're on Bass and Brews, be ready, because you're only going to be here for like an hour after he said you're going to be here for an hour and a half. And he can let the music play. He can let the music play all he wants. He paid for the music. He paid for the music.
That's right.
And I'm cool with that.
All right, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season. Make sure to go to patreon.com/Bass and Brews if you'd like to help us support. Also, remember, go to Apple Music, leave a 5-star review, but be as mean as fucking possible. You can also email us at bassandbrews@gmail.com. Ramon, he put the fucking sunglasses on. We'll see you on the next one.